I'm grateful, Marcia. How are you doing?
I am doing great. I am doing great. I am just passionate about what is happening to my beautiful Barbados, my second home. This is, well, it's not my home. I've lived here longer than I've lived in Jamaica. And it does matter to me the condition my home is in.
Yes.
Well, sir, I'm so happy that you have joined. And Mr. Rowe, you know, I was telling the people that last night I was at a function and you saw me and we were chatting and I said, Dale, I'm so sorry I didn't get to. You wanted me to go somewhere with you on Thursday,
Yes.
and I wasn't in a position to go. And you just said to me, Marcia, you said, Marcia, do you want to go to Nelson Street now? You want to, because we were supposed to go to Nelson Street to go and look for the family, right? And you
Yes.
just asked me like that. And I looked at Dave, Dave looked at me, and the great husband that he is, he said, yeah, why not? And what time was that? Was that like probably after 8 or something?
Yes. After 8 o'clock last night.
After
Yeah.
8 o'clock, and we jumped in Dale's car and we went to Nelson Street. Over to you, Dale.
Yes. So, good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great Easter. I wish you guys all the best. But this family have 7 children, and they're living in a condition that is not suitable for humans, to be very honest.
Okay, so when we talk about this family, so let's give them the backstory.
Okay. All right. So you want to start from the incident that
Yes,
happened recently? Yeah.
yes, yes.
So one of the young gentlemen, one of the young boys that was involved, that was there present, that got shot, the 14-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
He's extremely traumatized at this present moment. He's afraid to even go by his door. He is extremely traumatized. The mom told me that something barely dropped and the little boy was frightened. He don't even want to go outside. And the day of the incident, he was not outside playing. These boys were next door inside the house sitting when the incident happened. These children was not outside running about. And even so, at 4 or 5 o'clock, children should be, having some recreational time on the outside. And after that situation, the 14-year-old, he has not came outside. He did not went outside to do anything. Even if a cup dropped, it jumped him. He is extremely frightened. I think that we need to try to get some counseling and different stuff organized for him, because trauma is something serious, and we might look past or look over this situation, but I think that those persons that were there, that experience or witness it, I think that we need to really help those persons get over this, because this is nothing that you can get over easy. So, to be very honest.
Yes. You know, Dale, when you went there on Thursday,
Yes, please.
you met, who are the people that you met when you went on Thursday?
On Thursday, I would have just met the persons in the area, directly next door. I spoke to some family members and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And every single residence, every single person, those people are extremely afraid.
Mm.
I spoke to a lady before this incident, that had 2 shootings in Nelson Street, and houses would have just gotten shot. And I spoke to different ladies, and one lady indicated that her 13-year-old daughter was afraid to go to the bus stop
Oh,
so
wow.
that she can get to school. So the people in Nelson Street area, they are extremely terrified and extremely frightened. So having this conversation with those persons, people operate businesses from their homes.
Mm-hmm.
with those kind of in those kind of environments where shooting happens, what you think is gonna happen? The patrons is gonna say, you know what? Nah, boy, too much gang violence, too much violence down in there. I can't go
Mm-hmm.
and buy a cheese cut anymore. I can't go and buy a couple of beers anymore. Let me find another location. So,
Yes.
it's disappointing that the government can't get this under control. It's very disappointing. And that area, those people need whatever kind of income. So those persons operate shops from their homes, bars from their homes, and that is the only means of income. So now
Mm-hmm.
with three different shootings or four different shootings, because one happened where they had the mass casualty in the bars, Zanzibar, and then
Yes, yes,
yeah, and then this year, most recent, they had three different shootings in the area, broad daylight. One happened a morning around 10 a.m. and the rest happened during the day.
yes, yes.
So
I
then people,
remember we when we had finished the march, right there at Judgement Lane, and it was probably about 2 hours later they had a shootout, right there on just a little bit
yes,
up from where we were there on Nelson Street. So
yeah,
a lot of this is happening in the daytime. Let me just pause and ask everybody who's on. This is very, very important right now, guys, that we like and share. I'm going to ask everybody to do it. When you hear what Dale is going to speak up, you're going to see why it's important that we do it. Everybody, please like and share now. Share in your WhatsApp groups, because we're going to come together. You know how we do it. We're not just a people that talk on here. We're people of action. So that is what happened, Dale, when you arrived there on Thursday.
yes, please.
Now, talk to us about last night.
All right. So last night, going back there, for me personally, it was a bit hard because as a person, I would like we to put ourselves in those people's shoes, and actually, you know, be a human. Don't let me stay on the sidelines and say, "Oh, man, this," and we just talking. Put ourselves in those shoes. How would we feel? So for me personally, I felt really bad to know that there's only so much I can do as an individual, or we as a group can do as a people. But this need a holistic approach. We really need to put some things in place to help these families, because there are so much families throughout Barbados, not only the city. We can talk about St. John, St. Joseph, all over Barbados that is experiencing serious
Mm.
poverty.
So when you went to the house, because when you went to the house, can you explain what your experience? You are, and those of you who don't know, Mr. Rowe is the DLP candidate. And I said, that I'm going to tell the truth on the show, that I went to Nelson Street. I told him today, I said, can I tell the people that you took me there? Because that is exactly what happened. And I'm not going to go make up a story that I got up and went to. No, no, no. Dale Rowe took me from an event at 8 o'clock in the night that I would have never thought that I would do, put Dave and I in his car, and he took us to Nelson Street. So that's why he's here on the show. So Dale, talk to us about what you saw when you got there.
All right. We have 7 children that sleeps on a mattress on the floor. Um, and it's not even a house per se. They are occupying something like a variety a rum shop. Picture like those old time rum shops. So they are actually living inside of the rum shop on mattresses on the floor. Um, they need a lot of help. A lot of help. These 7 children. I have the ages right here for you, Marcia, and the viewers. Um, hold for me. So we have a 15-year-old, 14-year-old, 12-year-old, 11, and a 2-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
There's a 17-year-old, but the 17-year-old, is also, but those ones, the 15, 14, 12, 11, and 2, you
Mm-hmm.
know, still in school, and the the mother and the grandmother, they're trying. The lady have, a lot of them, and it's really hard. They need a stove, they need a fridge. Um, the children have nothing at all to get access to do any schoolwork, you know.
So you
Uh,
mean like Wi-Fi and
Wi-Fi, yeah, Wi-Fi, no tablets, no nothing,
mm,
so those children, they are at a serious disadvantage in 2025. Very, very serious. Personally, it broke my heart, to be very honest. Yeah, man.
yeah, when we were leaving there, you and you can talk about this because you spoke, let's be clear here, to everybody who is listening, that Mr. Rowe did speak with the mother today. Is the mother you spoke with today?
Yes,
And I said to you to make sure you have permission to, to speak openly. Yes.
yes,
Yes. And because what we want to do is to treat people with dignity.
correct.
I told her, she said, I told her I would never come with my camera or anything like that. We want to help her. And I said to Dale, right, Dale? I said to you, Dale, you have got to come you will have to come to describe, because
Yes,
I'm not going to bring a camera in
correct,
somebody's home,
correct.
because those children go to school. There's one of the boys that goes to Parkinson, another one to Lodge. The 11-year-old goes to the Lodge school, and actually he had just come home. Dale,
Yes.
he had just come home
Funeral.
from Jonathan's funeral. The
Yes, yes,
11-year-old who also got grazed, according to his mother, that the shot flew past him, and he had to get treated at the hospital as well.
yes,
He had just come home from Jonathan Chase's funeral. This is the seriousness. This is how we're traumatizing our children in this country. Right, Dale? Isn't that what the
yes,
mother said? He was
yes.
sitting down eating a juicy, and is it what is it?
I think a meat roll.
A meat roll, a juicy
Yeah.
and a meat roll, and he went next door to get some Wi-Fi to just be on his own, like any child. He had just come from the funeral, relaxing his mind, and had to be running from gunshots. Right, Dale.
Yes,
And so I was saying all of that. I got sidetracked. That you would have called the mother, and because we weren't too sure what we were going to say and what we could say. And I said to you, and I said, Dale, I'm not, I can't come back. I told her I would interview her, but I'm not going to do it because I don't want to go there with a camera. We have
yes.
to make sure that those children, when they go to school, that the business not all on social
All
media,
on social media. Yes,
right? So you are going to have to believe us. You have to
yes,
trust us. We're with that and trust Dale. Dale is handling this thing really very humanely, I have to say. When we left that house, as soon as we left and we got close to the car, you started crying.
yeah, man.
Dale, I'm talking out his business. Dale, why were you crying? You're a big man. Why were you crying?
Because I felt powerless. I felt that as a human, we need to really have a sense of consciousness for our brother, because at the end of the day, we are all one. So our brothers and sisters that are in need, we should try to assist. Um, and it's very heartbreaking to see these conditions in Barbados in 2025. And our leaders prioritize partying as opposed to prioritizing the cost of living and hunger issues. Because there are so many Barbadians out here that are hungry and cannot afford meals and food and proper housing. So for me, I felt powerless. So when I'm in a position that I can't do anything immediately, it gets me frustrated, and then yeah, man. So like for me, I genuinely have a love for humans because we're all one. We breathe the same air and we don't pay taxes
Mhm.
for it. When we die, all of us we're gonna go 6 feet. Rich, poor, black, white, we are all one. So it hurt me, and it really hit home for me personally to see that condition, to see those children, because living in a condition like that, it as a young black male coming from
Mhm.
a environment like that, it's gonna put you in a state of mind. Well, yo, if my mom is working on minimum wage and she's only working 3 days a week, so minimum wage is 850. If you multiply it by 24 hours, which is 3 days, it's only $200. Then after
Mhm.
taxes come out of that, how can you survive or pay rent? If you work minimum wage for 5 hours, I mean, for 5 days, which is 40 hours, is only $340. Taxes have to come out of that. And if you're paying rent at 150 or 200 and you have 4 children, how are you feeding these children? How are you even getting to work? So persons have to choose paying rent over eating. So young black males, we then gonna say, you know what? It don't make sense going to get employment because 850 an hour and my mother is struggling. It don't make sense. So that's why you will see them, these little boys more want to gravitate to the block life. I am not saying that the block life is right. What I'm saying is this is the reality. The reality is when these boys hit 13 and they realize, well, mom don't have money, I need to help. There are other younger ones. So you know what is gonna happen? That 13-year-old boy is gonna say, yo, I'm gonna gamble, I'm gonna thief, or they're gonna look to sell drugs
Mhm. Mhm.
so
Mhm.
that they can put food to help mom and 6, 7, 8, or 10 children.
Mhm. Mhm. I'm seeing some action here in the chat, and I want, if someone, Mr. Lewis, Mr. Victor Lewis, I don't see the persons who would normally, or Vihoy, can you just scroll through the chat? I think people are donating things right now, and don't let me start crying on here now. I tell you, because I find that Barbadians are just so that we are generous people, and a lot of times I was speaking with Marcia, who's going to come in afterwards, and a lot of times we don't respond, Dale, because we live in different worlds. You
Yeah,
know, I was shocked at the situation.
yeah,
And I was shocked. And she said to me, Marcia, but this a lot of families are like that in Barbados. I know, of course, everywhere has poverty, but my goodness, and what I want to say, Dale, is one of the things the grandmother said. She said, ma'am, I would like to get my business up and running. Remember she said that. I
yes,
don't want, that's what I love about a lot about these people. They want to be able to help themselves, you
yes,
know and that's what I heard the grandmother saying, you know and I think that is so beautiful. So if Bihoy and could just grab, just tell us what the people are saying in the chat. And Dale, I we have the mothers, uh you and I, with the reason we're so emotional about this, right? And it's because when I saw you crying, I was trying to hold myself together, because I know, I knew why you were crying, because we connect, and that's how we grew up. You see what
Correct.
I mean? In those settings. And all I could think of is that if we don't do something in another 6 years, and this is not to say that those children don't have good parents, but in terms of statistics, in another 6 years, we'll be running from a lot of these kids.
Yes.
Some of us, we need to go and pull our pocket, go into your bank account now. Go in your bank account now if you want to live in your house and be comfortable in your house. We've got to take care of those neighborhoods and the young people that are living. Can you imagine a 15, a 17, a 12, 11-year-old living in the ways that you describe?
Yep. Yep.
Wow. What's going to happen? Just use your imagination. Unless short of a miracle. That happened to me and happened to you, right?
Correct.
Short
Correct.
of a miracle that happened to Dale and happened to a person like myself. Don't they see us sitting on here and they think it's a miracle, right there?
Yep. 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 Yep.
So Dale, what do you want to say? What else do you want to say to Barbados tonight?
Honestly, I would love we as a people to really look at how our country is, and really understand, if we do not try to direct the young black males, it will only get worse. Direct the young black males to want employment. You know, I was on the show with Mr. Torn 2 weeks ago, and Mr. Torn would ask, what is my suggestion as it relates to minimum wage? So I would have expressed to Mr. Torn, I think that, we need to move minimum wage from $8.50 to $10. I heard the budget, and they would have said a 17-cent increase. But to me, I found that very disrespectful, because if you calculate 17 cent on the 850, and you multiply it by 40 hours, that is only $348.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that is only $346.80. So if
Mm-hmm.
you get that 17-cent increase is only a $6.80 increase. Barbadians, nobody cannot survive. One, the cost of living is high. The crime will never go down, because the young boys, the focus is like, mom needs help, my sister need help, my grandma need help. So crime is gonna be at its all time high. Cost of living. Young boys
Mm-hmm.
not interested in working, and and when I say that, they want work, but guys from in the city, when males or females apply for jobs,
Mm-hmm.
believe it or not, they do not get the call, and these people have the qualifications. I met a young
Why are they not getting the call? Why are the young men from the city not getting the call for the jobs?
the stigma attached as it relates. Oh, you from the city? So I spoke to one guy 2 weeks ago. He said he went to the interview, and they asked him if he's be outside. In the interview, they asked him if he's go outside. So then, as a result of the question and answer, he didn't get the job. Some persons sent in applications with the Nelson Street, Orleans, Chapman Lane area, and received no phone calls. They then changed their addresses, send in to companies, and get the calls.
Okay, so the address is causing the problem.
The address is
So,
causing the problem
wow.
still today in 2025.
That happens in Jamaica as well. I remember certain things our parents would tell you, don't put big lane on it, because if you put it on it there, you're going to be marginalized. You won't be called.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I understand. Wow.
You know, so like we as a people, we need to be human again. We need to forget all of the titles and give everybody a fair opportunity, because
Yes.
we could pray, we could do YouTubes, we could do all kinds of stuff, but if we do not change from within and extend a genuine help to people, you know, give the opportunity, you know, like, if, example, this guy, he's a forklift driver, got the qualification to drive forklift, but he can't get employment. 28 years old, have CXCs, have the license to drive forklift, but he
Mm,
can't get that employment. He then have to go and drive taxi. So people
wow.
want stability.
Yes. You know, I want to pause here, and I see Miss Myrie is here, and I'm just gonna ask her to just give me another 3 to 5 minutes with Dale, and then she would come in and just jump on continue what we're discussing here. But you know, I saw a comment here, and I think that this is a thing that I want us Barbadians to really not everybody, but there is a set of people that you are not listening. Listen with your heart. Listen with your heart and not your head. So if you keep listening with your head, you're going to judge and say, why? I saw somebody say, why did this woman go and have 7 children? You know, I am so glad, Dale, that the people who came and helped us out of the ghetto and helped us, they did not ask that. They did not ask my mother, why did you go and have 3 children by the age of what, 19, 20, with you know, different fathers, and nothing to feed them. I am so glad, Dale, that they didn't ask that question. They didn't ask that about why in your, you know, your family, all they want to do is crime and violence, and we have nothing. I'm so glad the little church down the road did not judge me when I went. Because what is happening now is that we're judging these people. We just heard the lady almost lost 2 of her sons, and we are sitting here judging her for having 7 children. I really have to, I had to address that, Dale, because we're listening with our head and not our heart. Listen, we're not here telling people to go and have 7 children, but let me tell you, continue with that attitude. A lot of these kids will come and terrorize you in your house. Do nothing now. Sit down and judge. Sit and judge. But Dale, what's your response to that?
Me to what you just said.
Yeah.
Situations put females in a space of survival, and when you look at vulnerable females, there are men that is going to go and take advantage and promise all kinds of money and all kinds of better life. So then that guy come, he then disappear, end up in jail, or he die. Then another guy come promising. She then, you know, parents, mothers would have left school with no education. I can't get employment. So then they had to then depend on relationship to get by, then next relationship, and then relationship after relationship. So you know, I personally don't criticize or judge her, because I am no one to judge. I am nothing. I am just a normal human being. So I'm not gonna judge. I am not God. All I would
Amen.
do is just be empathetic, sympathetic, and try to put myself in her shoe. What would you have done, or how would you feel? I know people that have boy children, and those guys grow up with me, and those guys parent fathers was never present, and those guys involved in guns and killing and back and forth, and you know, and as a result, that is no life. But those young black males went and start a life of crime because, one, human resources in Barbados still do discriminating, because people come from Nelson Street, Orleans, Silver Hill, all of these other areas. And it's not only the city, there are parts in Barbados that you can't use your address. But then now, we can sit down in our circles and then ask questions as it relates to why this and why that. So the questions we should ask, why we don't give these same people an opportunity to get gainful employment. These people, honestly, I met this family since last year, Marcia, and this family has never asked me for nothing.
Yeah, they're not that type of people.
Nothing. And I only know the condition as a result of the shooting. As a result of the shooting, and I only know all of this information of most recent. I met that family since last year.
Yeah,
And
because when we went, yeah, you've been in the community many times, and I remember when we went to give out the toys
the
with
toys,
you again. You invited me to come to give out the toys, and I remember that home. And we were trying to find the picture, but I'm glad we didn't find the picture, so nobody knows, But really, we remembered, you and I remember that, and I said to you, I said that is so, because they were just peeping through the door. And I said to you, Dale, let's take that picture, right?
yes.
And we took the picture. And so everything is all lining up. We needed to have been there December so that we knew and understood. Well, we just have another couple minutes, and I know that your mentor must be very, very proud of you. I know that Mr. Thorne, is working with you very, very closely.
Yes.
And and I'm really really happy for what you're doing, and I didn't expect anything very different from you, because when somebody like yourself, you're accustomed, you grew up in that kind of setting, you're going to be very, very genuine in what you are doing, because and I just want to give a shout out to Mr. Thorne, because we don't say that enough, to say
Yes.
thank you for the work that you are doing with Dale. Dale, what's your final words before you go tonight?
Honestly, let us as a people hold the government accountable for our ports, our port of entry. Barbados, Smith and Western, that makes all of the fancy guns, do not have a factory in Barbados. You cannot buy a Smith and Western, whatever kind of gun, in Barbados. My question is, how are the guns getting here? Because mind you, these same guys that is on the streets, that get involved in the shooting, the killing, the drugs, these guys, some of them don't even have a passport. So my question is, what is going on to our the borders? We need to look at that. Because if we could have a attorney general that actually focus on the borders and stop all of these guns from getting people have too much easy access.
Yeah.
Too
But
much
the thing
easy
is,
access.
do they want to touch the big boys? I know you have some more work to do, because you do have an event tomorrow for some other children. We didn't even get to thing. Let me bring in Miss Myrie just now. But you have an event tomorrow. Tell us really quickly, 1 minute, and tell us about what you're doing tomorrow for some children in another area.
Okay, so tomorrow is Westbury Primary School. We're gonna start at 10 a.m. We're gonna finish around 7 p.m. It is an all-day activity. We have the 100-meter race, we have the relay, football, netball. We also have the skaters coming out because they're gonna do a skate marathon tomorrow. The marathon starts from Usain Bolt complex, and we're heading straight down the highway to Westbury Primary School. We're gonna have music all day. We have dominoes, draft, chess, backgammon, and I also receive sponsors from Brooklyn's Finest. I receive sponsors from Street Locker. I receive sponsors from at least 5 different stores, and those sponsors is going to be gift cards that we're going to be giving to the winners. So a netball team, anybody here online wish to come out tomorrow, feel free, join us. A day full of activity, and we also have some upcoming artists that will be performing.
Mm. So you're
Yes.
inviting people to come down and meet the children and participate, and you're there from 10 o'clock. And this is
Berry Primary School.
Westbury Primary. I always mix up the two schools there.
Yes. Yes.
Westbury Primary School. You're going to be there tomorrow. Well, Dale, thank you so much, and please keep up the good work that you're doing. You're serving, and that's all that matters. Very
Yes.
good job. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
very much.
Dale.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Have a good night,
Yes.
everyone.